What's up, Facebook Live? Nice to see you. Light's a little funky in here tonight. Anyways, welcome. Good to see you. Love to know as you're tuning in, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for out there in Facebook world. Let's see. Hey, look at all these amazing people joining. Welcome. Good to see you. I don't know if I can see the chat on this one. Oh, here comes chats. Tim, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we were just playing around with it just a little bit to see something very specific. Actually, I wanted to see if we could invite people to join us live, just like we do on Instagram, and we can. Tiffany, Happy New Year's. Welcome. For anyone new, love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for. Middle of Tennessee, don't know where, I guess in a mountain. So a couple things to think about with goals. I know lots of people are, Santiago, what's up, buddy, from Uruguay? Good to see you. So a couple of things with goals that are really important. Number one, the considerable factor, and Tim, it's kind of funny you're in Tennessee, the considerable factor of knowing two things. When you set a goal, you have to know, number one, where you actually really are right now. Now, lots of people tend to vaguely, kind of, roughly give you somewhat of a feel of where they're at versus giving you the specifics on exactly where they are. Now, if you're in Tennessee and you're trying to get to San Diego, there's a whole different route you take. There's a whole different strategy than if you were in Paris, France. A different equipment you use, different strategy, different route, different approach, different timing. There's a whole different experience of that, looking at where you really are compared to where you want to be. Number two, you got to be extremely specific about where you want to go. And so what's wild is the first thing you want to know with your goal is where are you comparably. Number two, you want to know where are you. And number three, you want to get really specific on what's the obstacle, what is the challenge, what's the distance, what's the road between where you are right now and where you're trying to get to. So I think we're going to try something fun here. I'd love to know who has an amazing goal they are working towards. So there's all kinds of people tuning in. Welcome. So I'd love to know, number one, what's your goal for 2018? What is a goal, a big, hairy, audacious, fun, exciting goal you're working on in 2018? And where, what's that goal? Let's start with that. And then I'm going to see if I can chat with a few people live real quick and hear where they actually are right now comparably and hear their plan and what's the obstacle in the way. But I'll start in the comment section. I'd love to know, number one, what is the big goal you're aiming for in 2018? What do you got? What's that goal you're going after? Let's see. Santiago, publishing a book and getting some awesome coaching. Chelsea, hey there, taking my business to the next level. Santiago, I think I saw you in here. Oh, I can't invite Santiago. Why? We're getting a house, replace the one we lost in the fire. Chelsea, taking my business to the next level. Very cool. Ooh, that's a good one. Let me see. Chelsea, there you are. Great example. Let's see if this works. We're playing with a new feature. Now, for everyone else tuning in, let me see if I can go back to the comment section. Let's see. Get my jewelry in the Saks Fifth Avenue. Very cool, Lorelei. Number one huge goal you're aiming for in 2018. Now, the second question is not only what is the number one huge goal you're aiming for, but the second question is where are you comparably? Where are you comparably to this goal? So, if you're trying to get your book published, what has to happen in order for you to actually get that done? You know, if you're trying to get your jewelry in the Saks Fifth Avenue, what has to happen? Whoa. Hey, Chelsea.
Hello.
Nice to see you. So hold on one sec. What was that goal we were aiming for? Taking my business to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Great question or great goal. So I'd love to know if you'd be willing to share what does the next level look like?
I mean, this year I'm kind of targeting one specific person rather than being all over the place.
Nice.
And then just organizing it, getting out my order quicker.
Very cool. What's your business?
T-shirts.
Very nice. And is there a website or something where people can go check them out?
Sure. It's tamelessdesigns.com.
Very nice. And so with that, when you say you're targeting one specific person, is it one specific buyer? Is it one specific store? Is it one specific?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's one specific type of person. I normally do custom shirts for pretty much anybody, but I'm really next to cheerleaders and sports.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a big market.
Yeah. You to be a cheerleader, so I know.
How fun.
Yeah.
And so what would those numbers look like in order to grow whatever that next level would be?
I mean, I'm looking for, double my number. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it.
Got it.
But
there's a really great book. I'm going to send you a copy as a thank you for jumping on. The title's interesting. It's from a business mentor of ours, Keith Cunningham. But I was just talking about this, and I'll read you a little bit of a chapter. It's really interesting. It's called The Road Less Stupid, advice from the chairman of the board,
mm-hmm.
avoiding the dumb mistakes that sabotage growth, profit, and business. I was just reading this, and it's really interesting because it kicked me in the face earlier, this week when we were doing our goal setting. And what's interesting, I'll read you the two pieces he puts in here that's really interesting. The first piece, and this is for everyone who's listening in. Let's see. No such thing as a natural business owner. It's all learned. I'm trying to find the page. Because it was really timely. The thinking process. It was talking about the fact that most of us, when we set our goals, we set kind of big, vague goals of what we're aiming for. Something along the lines of like, there's no reason why next month we shouldn't be, twice as big or 3 times as big as we are today. Like, there's really no reason we can't make that happen. Versus, here it is. So it's chapter 8, really great chapter. And it goes, most business owners or management teams are ineffective because they tend to use fluffy, glossy, generalized hand waving as a substitute for measurable, quantifiable plan. So it throws out, I see no reason why we shouldn't be at 2 million of revenue by next quarter. and so most of us, including me, when I sat down and wrote our goals, I was like, oh, I know what I want. I want to double our revenue and, squeeze out 25% more profit. Mm-hmm. And it sounds great. It makes sense in my mind. It certainly makes sense on paper. And then I read this chapter the other day. I was like, dang it. and I was laughing. And he goes, here's what the update would sound like. Instead of, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to make twice as much next month or next year as we did this year. Mm-hmm. He gets specific. He says, here's the specific measurable step I'm taking, broken down by week, and the milestones, timelines, resources, and personal calendar time I'm committing to reaching that doubling of our revenue next quarter. Here's the name of each lead in our funnel that I'm going after. This is how many I will call on each quarter, day, week, and month. Here's the conversion percentage I'll achieve. This is the monetary value each transaction will have. Here's the exact thing I'm going to do and the specific result I will generate to make certain that we achieve that number target. I'll be reporting on these specific measurable things, A, B, and C, next week, and you should hold me accountable to making sure all 3 are complete. I read that and I was like, well, dang it.
I'm a little behind.
Not behind. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I had the broad statement on my first round. So yeah. Amanda and I were in the other room, and it was funny because we were resetting our goals using something like this, where I'm like, okay, I know this. Break it down to the ridiculous. like nail down every single step of the way. And then it's pretty much a roadmap. It's the equivalent of driving across the country. I think Tim was saying he's somewhere in Tennessee. So it's either saying, hey, I'm going to head west to California and just take whatever road says west on it, or take out the map, draw the line from California all the way to the specific road he's on and go, okay, here's the exact path I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
But as a thank you for always tuning in and sharing with us and participating, I'll send you, just DM me your address and I'll send you a copy of the book. I bought a handful to support Keith.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. But chapter 8's a killer one for the goal setting concept, because it allows us to take kind of that broad concept of growth or more or bigger and narrow it down into like, I'm going to sell 100,000 t-shirts to 25,000 cheerleaders this year. I'm going to break that down to this many. I'm going to hit this many per week and this many per month. I'm going to call on this many and get this many orders.
Exactly.
And what's fun is that can be put into a spreadsheet. You can start seeing what's working and what's not. And the fun part is at that point, please post the title of the book. Gotcha. So for everyone, I think this is there. It's called The Road Less Stupid by Keith J. Cunningham. And it's advice from the chairman of the board. Great book. Great book. I'm only, I think, 9 or 10 chapters in, but it's ridiculously good. Anyways, thank you for jumping on. I'll send you a copy of that, and thank you for always joining us. And then if you would, if there's any cheerleaders or friends or family members of cheerleaders, if you would drop the link to your website for Tameless Designs, and we'll see if anyone here can help hit your goal for your numbers this year. Yeah. Okay.
Bye, thanks.
Very cool. Let's see. I can't find it anywhere. Also, please contact me. Oh, Chelsea, please contact me. I'd love to learn more about your shirts. Very cool. Tim is interested. Unconditional sharing. You're so very welcome. Very cool. Hey, Jairek, starting a new adventure with the Salad Masters. Very cool. Salad Masters is awesome. We support some of their great team. Yes, my daughter's in a cheer squad. Tiffany says, so Chelsea, please post that link for Tameless Designs in the comments here. Sounds like there's some people who are interested. So real simple with goals. Number one, you want to get really specific on where you are right now, like incredibly specific. Here's exactly where I am. So, it's January 1st. If you've done 0 sales so far for the year, no problem. In that case, you're at 0. Great place to start. Only place to go is up. From there, what do you want December 31st, 2018 to look like for you business-wise, or emotionally, or physically, or spiritually, or relationship-wise? What do you want that to be like specifically? Now you'll know what the gap is between where you are today, where you want to go. And then you got to ask yourself, what's the obstacle? Now, this is another interesting concept because a friend of mine was asking me, well, hey, I see what your goals are. I see what you're trying to achieve. Well, what's stopping you? What's the obstacle? And I, like many people, said, well, there is no obstacle. I just have to do it. And he started laughing, and he literally said, if there was no obstacle, you would already have the result. So do you have the result? I was like, nope, not yet. And he goes, then there's an obstacle. Figure out what it is. And he says, here's the challenge. If you don't know what the obstacle is, you can't get through it, around it, over it, if you don't know what it is. It's like an invisible thing that's a visible force that's holding you back. And so really nail down what's the actual obstacle. And the obstacle might be, if you're in Tennessee and you're trying to drive to San Diego, the obstacle is just the road in between you. You have to go down the road. That's the obstacle. That's the barrier. That's the challenge or the journey between you and the result. So sometimes the obstacle isn't this thing that's holding you back. It's just what has to happen for you to transcend this journey to get to the result. So you want to get really specific. Number one, where are you? Number two, where you're going. And number three, you want to look through this middle and say, hey, what is the real obstacle? What's the journey I need to transcend to actually get the results I want? And so we were sitting down and I said, you know what? Based on where we're at right now, we have amazing trainings, amazing opportunities, incredible coaches on our team. And I said, I would love to get to 100 one-on-one coaching clients with our coaches and myself being coached every single month. And I said, where are we right now? We only have my 25 clients, but then we also have another 5 or 6 clients with our coaches right now. I said, well, I need to transcend the gap. And so I thought, what do I need to do? It's like, well, I need to talk about it more here, but I need to go out to offices. So if you're in Southern California and you have an office with a sales team or a performance-based leadership team, I'd love to come and talk with you about optimizing your performance. And the concept of I need to go out there and talk to people and deliver presentations and show you all how coaching can enhance your numbers, really run the numbers and make sure it makes sense. And if it does, invite people to work with our coaches to enhance their numbers. I was like, well, that's not hard, but that's where we are right now. We know our exact numbers. Where we want to be, we know our exact numbers. And I know what has to happen. What's the obstacle in between? What's the road or the journey in between to get to that result? And then every day you got to go at it. I got to figure out how many meetings a week do I need? How many presentations? How many people do I have to talk to? What's the conversion ratio? You got to run all the details and numbers in between so you know exactly what has to happen each and every day to make it happen. So real simple, just 3 parts that are helpful with goals if you're setting those or analyzing what you've written so far. Number 1, know exactly where you are. Number 2, know exactly where you want to go. Number 3, understand the obstacle you must overcome in between so that you can create a clear, measurable, actionable plan to actually get that done and have actual numbers and metrics and accountability to know exactly what it takes. We were running numbers on one of our websites today, and we figured out, hey, here's the exact amount we need to invest with ad revenue in order to get this exact number of enrollments through this process. And we ran it on a spreadsheet, and we said, as long as the conversion ratios hold true, this is exactly what it takes. And what's fun is clarity is power, because when you know exactly what it takes, now it's not a question of, is it possible? Now it's a question of, are you willing to do the work? Are you just willing to go out and make it happen? Are you willing to make the investment of time, effort, energy, or money in order to actually get that result? So simple piece here. Hopefully it's useful. I'm going to go get some sleep. I have early training calls tomorrow. I will see you on tomorrow. Now, what's interesting is if you're tuning in tomorrow, we have a special guest coming on. Let's see, she will be here, I think, hold on one second, let me check my calendar. We're going to be on at 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. Let's see, we'll be on talking about how to optimize your physical performance. She is a multiple-time world champion triathlete. We're going to be talking about how to optimize your physical performance. So tune in tomorrow if you want. It's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be on here for 30, 40 minutes chatting. Until then, have a great night, and I'll see you all then.